in defense of free speech in this country couldn't bring themselves to defend those who endorsed Nupur Sharma's rights to express her views. Some of these individuals, viewers, were expressing their fundamental right to free speech by going out there and saying very clearly that they support Nupur Sharma. Several politicians and Muslim groups raged against Nupur and those who backed her. They called for exemplary punishment according to laws of one faith to punish apostasy. Blood was spilled. Instead of slamming the vigilantes, the Supreme Court, no less, hanging Nupur out to dry by blaming her for beheadings, the murders and violence against people like Umesh Kolhe of Nagpur and Udaipur-based tailor Kanhaiyalal. But today, viewers, this entire ecosystem will have to introspect. Times Now has accessed the NIA chart sheet. It's right in my hands, viewers. It goes into hundreds of pages that details the diabolism behind the slaying of Umesh Kolhe. The NIA in these pages claims clear line of evidence which proves that Umesh Kolhe's murder was not a simple killing but a terrorist act, a plot by highly radicalized Islamists who are members of the Tablighi Jamaat. The motive, according to the NIA, in these pages was always to terrorize a section of the population, claims the NIA. The investigative agency also details proof to show how the group of 11 Tablighi Jamaat followers totally believe the obscurantist idea that they have been willed to kill those they deem guilty of apostasy. There is a special reference to the chilling slogan "Gustakhe Nabi ki ek hi saza, sartan se juda" in these pages, viewers. If you look at some of these pages in this chart sheet, the motivation has been clearly held up. And let me read out page 23, clause 17.19. Investigation established that on 19/06/2022 in the evening, in order to discuss Umesh Kolhe's matter, accused 4, accused 5, 7, and 11 assembled at Gausia Hall and decided that the Prophet of Islam has been dishonored and there is only one punishment for it: beheading the person. Gustakhe Nabi ki ek hi saja, sartan se juda. Accordingly, they decided to behead, kill Umesh Kolhe. And it goes on to detail, viewers, the diabolism. First, let's go over the conclusions drawn by the NIA. The NIA says radicalized Islamists pre-planned the murder. The killers were radicalized Islamists of the Tablighi Jamaat, accused influenced by ideology of sartan se juda. It was not a simple murder, but an act of terror. The killers wanted to make out an example of murder. People would not dare to speak up. All of this detailed in this particular chart sheet that we have. Now let's break down the digital evidence. Here is a map, and we're going to pull that up on your screens, of the murder scene, where NIA was marked out, where NIA has very carefully marked out, viewers, the entire route taken by Kolhe and where his killers were waiting to ambush him. At 10 p.m., Kolhe shut his shop and headed home. The accused informed the killers on phone. The accused were waiting to ambush him. Spot where Kolhe was stabbed on neck to behead has been clearly identified, and those really are the charts on the screen there for you to see. And here it is, detailed, viewers, in this particular report here on page 27 of 77. This is the chart sheet. If we can just cut to this, it would be nice, Sharif Bhai. Just this paper in front of me. We can take the camera right over my shoulder and cut to that. That's right. There it is, viewers. These are the pictures of the scene of crime. And here, through triangulated positions of cell phone towers, you can see where all the other killers were lurking in an attempt to try and corner and ambush Kolhe. Viewers, call data records show all the accused were in touch before, during, and after the murder. Now, here is a flow chart. Focus once again on your screens, viewers. We're going to pull that up. Here is a flow chart. All 11 accused in touch via cell phones, multiple calls between accused prior to the murder, in contact during specific period shows common intent. In touch even after the murder to evade the law. This is all as per the NIA chart sheet, and all of this is also detailed, viewers, in the pages that I am reading out of. In fact, if you were just to look at this chart sheet, you will find it between page 36 all the way up to page 39. All the communication is laboriously in these pages, laboriously detailed in all these various flow charts. And they go into some 10 or 12 pages, viewers, of flow charts to put all these people together, triangulated cell phone records. The third piece of evidence is the cell tower locations of the 11 accused, which shows how they plotted and executed the killing as per the NIA. The accused met repeatedly 2 days before the murder, shows 3 accused carried out a reconnaissance of Kolhe's place of work and his home, shows 3 accused at the scene of crime during the reconnaissance. During murder, accused left phones in an ambulance. 1 accused shuts off the phone for 8 hours during the murder. All of this has been put out by the NIA in its chart sheet. Now, viewers, I'm not saying that this is a verdict. All I'm saying is that this is a chart sheet. It's been accepted by court, and the charges have been framed accordingly, and prima facie, the NIA claims proof. And remember, the NIA has a 93% plus conviction rate. Now, NIA has also been able to penetrate a WhatsApp chat group called Black Freedom. Kolhe and one of the murder accused are part of the group. It now turns out that Kolhe was killed because he supported Nupur Sharma. Yusuf, his friend for 16 years, and who was part of the group, was so upset that he forwarded Kolhe's messages to his killers, sent by Kolhe on the Black Freedom group. So all of these messages that Kolhe was sending in support of Nupur Sharma were forwarded to these individuals. In response to namaz, Ram Bhaks read Hanuman Chalisa. This was sent by Kolhe on the Black Freedom group. It's our duty to support Nupur Sharma. Time to support our sister Nupur. 20% should have overpowered the 80%. All these, I don't even want to go into some of these references, viewers, but all of these references were made by Mr. Kolhe. He was talking in a WhatsApp group amongst a closed circuit of people. He wasn't going out there and spreading dissonance in society at large. Neither was he on a public platform. And therefore, viewers, he should not have been killed. Now, someone might have actually had a problem with what he said and made a complaint. That can be done, but it's for the police in this country to act. It's not for vigilantes to take matters into their own hand, come what may. Now, viewers, the initial probe, as you know, was conducted by the Amravati police. And that happened under the government of the Shiv Sena and the Congress, as well as, of course, the NCP. Now, at that time, this killing was dismissed as a robbery, as some sort of personal enmity, robbery, etc. Today, after what the NIA has found, quite clearly, the BJP and others are coming out and saying that this was an attempt to try and paper over this dastardly act of terror. At least that's what the NIA has described it as. Viewers, the point is that when there were a spate of brutal beheadings, a large number of individuals who, as I told you, ordinarily would have stood with freedom of expression, free speech, the right for people to say what they want to without fear, actually went ahead and blamed Nupur Sharma and these individuals. Now, viewers, Nupur Sharma, guilty or not, will be judged by the court. Nobody can take matters into their own hands, pronounce guilt, and go ahead and take action against those supporting Nupur Sharma or even the personage of Nupur Sharma. But unfortunately, viewers, this entire group has been emboldened because of the support they got. And let me tell you here on record that when the Supreme Court should have drawn a line saying that the violence is condemnable, they went and blamed Nupur Sharma for the violence. They went out there and said that Nupur Sharma, it is because of her that we are seeing all this violence. They even pronounced guilt, viewers, before the matter could even come up for extensive hearing in court. That was the Supreme Court, but there were many others. Asaduddin Owaisi, AMM chief, said Muslims punished for merely being Muslims in this country. So he started whipping up a sense of victimhood. Asaduddin Owaisi, I've already told you, his member of parliament, Imtiaz Jalil, from his own party, says, hang Nupur in Chowraha for insulting Prophet. We have still in this country the law of the land. No one can call for anyone to be hung by vigilantes. Not Nupur, PM and RSS responsible for all of this, said Rahul Gandhi, Congress MP. Then Jairam Ramesh says that BJP single-handedly responsible for igniting passions. So viewers, here again, we are rationalizing the response. You can protest, but you can't threaten violence. That is going beyond, viewers, ignited passions. That is threatening violence. That is threatening to take the law of the land into your own hands. There'll be anarchy if everyone started doing that, whatever the provocation. Akhilesh Yadav, Samajwadi Party chief, says punish not just face but BJP for disturbing harmony. So inviting again a backlash on the BJP. Viewers, the time has come to ask some basic questions. Who emboldened these vigilantes? And has the time come perhaps to name, shame, and even punish those who sat and fanned the flames of obscurantism? It's a question that needs to be asked, and it needs to be interrogated honestly on this show. And I want to begin first with Ishkaran Bhandari, a noted advocate who's on this show. And I also want to bring into this conversation Kamruzaman Chaudhary and Asif Sohail, political analyst. Ishkaran Bhandari, you have been on this show earlier. Rahul. You also had warned that those who were trying to rationalize this violent backlash were actually emboldening the forces of obscurantism. And today your words seem to have been prophetic. The NIA has said that all of these sentiments that were expressed by, and there's no other way of saying this, but the enablers of this violence led to all these obscurantists, these vigilantes becoming emboldened. And look what happened.
Rahul, Lenin famously used to say the aim of terrorism is to terrorize. The aim of these radicals was twofold. One on Nupur Sharma and second on those who spoke up for Nupur Sharma. Let us deal with those who spoke up for Nupur Sharma first. Umesh Kolhe, 11 members of a group form a plan, 11 members, see the volume. Then there were reports that this was their second attempt. They had a spy unit to spy on Umesh Kolhe ji. Then they had targeted 3 other citizens, which was not carried out. This was happening in Maharashtra, where in Rajasthan, Kanhaiya Lal Teli, maybe that report will also come out, also butchered on the same issue, and they proudly brandished the knives. Why? Because the aim is to terrorize people, that if you speak, this is the fate, and if you share, this is the fate. Whatever we decree is what you have to speak. Beyond that, this is the fate. Now let's come to Nupur Sharma. Is death only a physical death? What has happened to Nupur Sharma in public life or her professional life, who was a practicing advocate, our colleague in High Court and Supreme Court? She has disappeared from every platform. That is something we must also not forget. So the aim of these terrorists, they don't care if 11 go to jail or 20 go to jail. The aim is very simple. This is how we will operate. If you speak anything we do not approve of, this is what we will do to you. This is what we will do to anybody who stands up for free speech. Now the question is on Bharat. How do we deal with this mindset, and what is the solution? One solution is what the French President Macron did. He did not bow down. He took a very clear stand. But what is the stand that Bharat takes? I am sorry, I am very disappointed in the stand of Bharat, and I hope they take a decisive stand. Otherwise, the terrorists will succeed.
This is very interesting. This is very, very interesting, Mr. Kamruzaman Chaudhary. You have today a very clear idea of what happened. The NIA has submitted its charge sheet. It has based it on forensic evidence. And today we know that Umesh Kolhe was murdered by radicalized Islamists of the Tablighi Jamaat. So all this hysteria, this villainization of those that supported Nupur Sharma, all it did was to actually embolden these obscurantists, vigilantes, who took it upon themselves to avenge the alleged insult or dishonor of the Prophet. Somewhere you have to put your hand up and say that you were on the wrong side of the argument, that the Congress was on the wrong side of the argument. What are we doing here?
No. Rahul, first and foremost, I can't understand the crux of the debate tonight. Is it the crime that has been committed in the murder of Umesh Kolhe? That's one part that you are debating, and the second part is you are trying to implicate, or the NIA has tried to implicate, the Tablighi Jamaat in this?
For not condemning those who are out there calling for the punishment of Nupur Sharma and those supporting Nupur Sharma, like Imtiaz Jalil in the state of Maharashtra. It was your government. Did you book that person? No, you didn't. Why didn't you book the member of parliament who said in the Chowk of Aurangabad, we need to hang Nupur Sharma? Who was he to dispense justice or decide a punishment? And why didn't you book him? That's the question.
Rahul, Rahul, basically I don't want to get into the debate. Whatever has happened with Nupur Sharma is wrong.
No, sir, people are dying. People are dying because of
it is a right.
No, you have created an enabling environment.
People are dying because of this. Propaganda and the hate.
No.
You have created.
No. One second. I'm going to lower your fader. This is very dangerous. Once again, Kamruzaman Chaudhary is using a forum to rationalize the threats. Viewers, in our democracy, people rightly or wrongly say things. There are laws when they cross the line. There are laws. One second. Rahul Easwar, I'm just coming out to you. There are laws that are on the books in the IPC that deal with those that abuse their rights. In fact, even lay people who are not conversant with the law, like Mohandas Pai, who are not lawyers, will second what I am saying. There is a law. That law must be applied. If Nupur Sharma has transgressed and she has insulted the Prophet, if that is what the courts deem has happened, they will punish her according to the laws. But viewers, if madcaps, bigots, supremacists decide, no, we are going to punish Nupur Sharma, and there is a whole group from the Congress party and other parts of the ecosystem that say, no, this is deserved, because you see, Nupur actually said something wrong. Who are they, first of all, to decide what she said was right or wrong? Rahul Easwar, Mohandas Pai, in that order. Rahul Easwar, please explain to Kamruzaman Chaudhary why people like him have blood on their hands tonight. And I'm saying it with deliberation. Why do they have it? Can you explain to him?
This is absolutely dangerous. You are giving an intellectual cover fire, rationalization, justification for killing people. See, if somebody is offended, they can go to police, they can file 153, 295. My brother Ishkaran will be a better person to talk to him about the legality. But if you are offended, you have a legal recourse. But killing and justifying killing by saying that it is hate and propaganda is absolutely shocking. Please remember, radicalization, terrorism should not be justified. The second worst thing after terrorism is justifying terrorism. We should never justify any kind of radicalization from any group anywhere in the world. And let us be honest, there are radicals who killed Kolhe and it was painful. You can debate about what Nupur Sharma ji said, and I totally disagree with her, with due respect. I respect, and whenever I talk about Prophet Muhammad, I say Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. But that doesn't mean, even if it is for Lord Sri Ram, Prophet Muhammad, Jesus Christ, they are using a wrong word. I can go and kill that person. I can go for violence. So this is the one important thing that we have to tell. Yeah. Don't justify, don't rationalize, don't give an intellectual cover fire, because it is as dangerous or second dangerous to spreading terrorism.
Exactly. This amounts to Mohandas Pai. When we have seen in the past, Gau Rakshas, for example, taking matters into their own hands. Now, supposing And this happened because in one particular case, a bunch of such individuals were given a party platform. And there was an outcry. Times Now, a large number, even Kamruzaman's party said that this was wrong. But look at that. You have criticized the BJP for doing wrong things, like giving certain individuals, vigilantes, a party platform, inviting them, celebrating them. But here, when people like Imtiaz Jalil, Member of Parliament, said, hang Nupur in Choraha for insulting Prophet Muhammad, you didn't do anything. Why? This is double standards.
These are double standards, and all political parties and all political leaders must make sure that none of their actions justify violence or threats by anybody in a society. It doesn't matter who you are. If you threaten somebody, you call for violence, you put a bounty on somebody's head, you call for people to kill people, and you come march on the street with threatening slogans, you must be put behind bars. And the law should be applied for everybody. The moment you accept these people going all around and having those slogans and threatening people, putting bounties on people's head and not getting punished openly, then you are giving the ground to these radicals to do what they want and invite violence. And we must remember that Indira Gandhi was a victim of violence. Rajiv Gandhi was a victim of violence. They all died because of this violent, violent propaganda and violent, agenda that some people had. So all of us should join together. And if members of political parties don't do it, there's a big shame on them. I don't know what they stand for, how they can be good leaders of this country if they do not. And they must remember that the people of this country are watching. People of this country are watching. They want peace. They don't like radical slogans by anybody.
Yeah.
And they want these radicals to be punished and the rule of law to be enforced by everybody. There can be no distinction between the Hindu, Muslim, or anybody when the rule of law is there. Anybody threatening, anybody calling for violence, anybody putting a bounty on anybody's head, the full force of the law should be there. And all political leaders should call for the law to be applied without fear or favor against everybody who transgress the law. That is what political issue. Anybody goes against that is a big shame. And the people of this country will punish them by not voting for them.
Yes.
Rahul,
that's right.
Just one small...
Yeah, please, make
Rahul,
your point. Iskan Bhandari, yes.
Rahul, the minute we did not punish people for putting bounties when events happened outside India, 5 crore, 51 lakh, I don't know what amount of bounties, and they were political leaders. We did not book them in terror charges. That's what encouraged it. The minute you put a price on somebody's head, that is not mere free speech. That is a reward for a murder. Those people should have been booked for terror laws, and we probably would have not reached this stage today.
Let me ask Mr. Kamruzaman, one second. Let's get one second. Let's get Mr. Chaudhary to respond. I think now he's probably understood. The penny must have dropped. Mr. Chaudhary, have you enabled people such as this to take the law into their own hands by giving them cover fire? Rahul Easwar used that word. You gave them the intellectual cover fire. This is how they responded. How is this any different from what the Gau Rakshaks did? You tell me. And if that was condemnable, isn't this condemnable?
No. Who is not condemning it? Who is not condemning it?
You say to
Rahul,
me tonight.
Don't try to create a propaganda
You
and
say
create
tonight.
an agenda for the next few days.
Really?
You
I have made an
creating
agenda.
one. Let me complete.
I have
This
made
is
an
not
agenda.
fair.
1
If you
minute,
don't
1
let me
minute.
speak,
1 second.
If it is a monologue,
Don't
it's
you
okay.
sit here and give me a lecture.
You
enablers.
yes, of course you have made an
enablers
agenda.
of
Do you want
all
me
sorts
to
of vigilantism.
cite
This is
proof?
what the Congress party
You
said.
are
Viewers.
enabling a hate
1 second.
agenda tonight.
Let me tell you what
No,
the Congress
this
party
is what
said.
you are
Viewers.
doing tonight.
Here
Why
is
do
Jairam
you bring
Ramesh.
in
Lower is
that
fader. BJP single-handedly responsible for igniting passions. This is what he said. Also went on to say, the Supreme Court has held a mirror to this government and called out the base ugliness of its actions. It's no secret that the BJP seeks to profit from inflaming communal passions. Today, the Supreme Court has strengthened the resolve in every single one of us who is fighting these destructively divisive ideologies. The court has very rightly called out the BJP spokesperson as single-handedly responsible for igniting emotions across the country. Now, viewers, let me tell you. When there are individuals who have gone out there and insulted the religious sentiments of the Hindu community, what is said? Jail those people. Put them behind bars. Does anyone say hang them in the public square? Does anyone justify that reaction by A, not taking action, or B, by saying, well, these people deserve that? No, viewers, they don't. Because they are not motivated by ideologies that are as hardline as this. Asif Sohail, I'll ask you a simple question. Kamruzaman Chaudhary cleverly said he didn't understand this entire story. I'm asking you a very simple question. Will you condemn tonight on this show the statement of Imtiaz Jalil, hang Nupur in Charaha for insulting Prophet? Number one, I hope you do. And number two, most importantly, will you condemn all those who were raising this slogan, Sartan se juda, without any qualification? Take that position tonight.
Yeah. I will condemn every act that is against the humanity, against any caste, creed or religion, whether it's Imtiaz Jalil or whether it's a Yogi Adityanath or any other BJP, RSS MLA or MP.
Imtiaz Jalil, I'm asking you, should Imtiaz Jalil,
let me
should Imtiaz Jalil have been booked? Very simple question.
That's what
should he have been booked?
I already said you. See,
Yes.
Nobody support this kind of statement, whether it's from any Imtiaz Jalil or from any other person. See, that is a personal stand. There are a lot of BJP and RSS people who have spoke wrong about the Muslim set ablaze and to kill them, and it's on the record. So we should not condemn. My concern is about my country. I'm concerned about the Indians and their security. Because of dirty politics, the entire nation is suffering.
So who played this dirty politics? Now, viewers, let me tell you who played it. And I want to bring in Majid Hyderi here. I'm glad you've taken an evolved position. Please tell Kamruzaman Chaudhary this, that by sitting here and rationalizing vigilantism, he is playing dirty politics.
The time of, if the Nupur Sharma,
so I'm asking you, Asif Sohail,
that time itself the cases have been booked properly.
Exactly. Now listen to me.
Not get that.
Asif Sohail,
let me finish
Asif Sohail, one second. This is very important. This is a point of inflection in this debate.
What about that?
1 second.
There was a bomb blast has been done in the India. What is the conviction rate about that?
Asif Sohail, 1 second. I'm not getting into corruption here. This is not about corruption. This is a straightforward debate about the issue. Let's stick to the issue. And my question to you, 1 second, Asif Sohail, please.
Those who are related to any school of thought, political party, that's a different story. But we as an Indian, we should unite and fight against this cruelty and against all these atrocities.
Right. So now I'm asking you, was the Congress party wrong in trying to suggest that the backlash, the vigilantism was justifiable? It's a very simple question to you. Asif bhai.
Yeah. देखिए जो कांग्रेस ने कहा है, see, it's not any official statement by the Congress. It was a personal stand over the leader. That's what I'm saying.
So Jairam Ramesh is the national spokesperson of the political party, the Congress party. Now don't give all these fig leaves. Don't give fig leaves. This has been said by Rahul Gandhi. He doesn't speak in personal capacity, for God's sakes. 1 minute. Let me bring in. Okay. So viewers, here we have it. Here we have it. Yogi Adityanath is wrong. Congress party is always right. The ecosystem is always right. Look at the way.
Yes. Our Prime Minister will endorse that.
Condemn rather than do
let's not blame the Congress.
Monkey balancing is what they are doing, says Rahul Easwar. Why are you monkey balancing?
Can't we at least for once, at least when people have lost life, can't we do some unequivocal condemning rather than merely monkey balancing? This side said that side said. See, people have lost their life. Their families might be seeing this. What will they feel when you're simply, when you condemn honestly, that brings confidence. That will bring more unity and harmony rather than merely brushing it under the carpet. Can't we be a bit more intellectually honest and condemn these kind of things rather than merely balance and say that this and that, bring other people in? So please, I believe rather than whataboutery, be honest about these things.
The same question applies to you. I'm going to come straight. Should Nupur Sharma and those who supported her been threatened by death? Simple question.
Rahul Saab, firstly, being a law-abiding citizen, I'll demand strictest punishment for those found guilty in the case. And law nowhere asked me to endorse NIA charge sheet as being gospel truth. So why do we need to discuss it? Now, if we discuss it, I have one question, sir, before responding to your question.
So you mean to say no one
my
killed
question
Umesh
is very
Kolhe?
simple.
So no one killed Umesh Kolhe. You see, this is where the problem with you is. This is where the problem is with you. The problem is, I am not sitting here. 1 second, Mr. Hyderi, I am not sitting here and rubber stamping the NIA. Okay, I made that very clear. So let's not go down that. There are certain findings and certain conclusions. Prima facie, people have been arrested. Prima facie, there is a case. Just as there is a case against Nupur, there is a case against these 11 Tablighi Jamaat supporters. If the case against Nupur is strong enough for you, then so should this case be strong enough for you. Now, sir, 1 second. I'm only asking you a simple question. Simple question. Does anyone have the right in this country to threaten someone for making a statement, however deemed offensive it is, to the Prophet? It's a very simple question, Majid bhai.
Sir, the law does not permit it. But
the law doesn't permit it.
Sir, we live in a country where
we have a constitution.
Intentional homicide takes place.
Absolutely.
Why this one case of intentional homicide is being discussed and handed over to NIA and a UAPA case made out of that. So it's a very simple question. 80 intentional homicides per day in our country, and we are discussing one intentional homicide. Why so, sir? And why was this particular case?
Sir, because the conclusions reached here are very disturbing.
This is what
this was an act of terror. This was an act of terror.
Are you trivializing it?
Well, 1 second.
No,
yes,
I'm not trivializing.
He is trivializing it. He is absolutely trivializing it. Rahul Easwar, explain to him how he is trivializing it. Explain.
Majid, just 2 lines. Coming from Kerala, we had an experience where a professor's hand was chopped off. Only because Kerala society stood strong and said this kind of radicalization is unacceptable. Our major Muslim organization came forward, Hindu and Christian organization came forward and said this is absolutely unacceptable. A person lost his hand. See, I am also a religious believer. When somebody talks about Sri Ram, I also get angry. But that doesn't give me a right to go and chop the hands or kill a person. That's the reason why. Let us not trivialize the issue. There is a radical Islamist
I respect
mindset.
every word of yours, but my brother, if this is the yardstick, why is Sidhu Moosewala's murder not being seen as act of terror?
Now, viewers,
why
let
do
me tell you.
Please,
let me tell you.
Let Rahul Shivshankar
let me tell you.
enlighten us, हमारा मार्गदर्शन करें. Why is
मैं आपका मार्गदर्शन करूंगा. मैं आपका मार्गदर्शन करूंगा. Okay, Hyderi साहब, आपको difficulty हो रही है to accept this. I will only read out the NIA. I am not an investigator. I'll read out what the NIA have said. Investigation has clearly emerged, and this is page 31 of the charge sheet. 17.48 is the clause. Investigation has clearly emerged that accused person A1 to A11, all 11 of them, hatched a criminal conspiracy to kill Umesh Kolhe, who had no property dispute, no history of fighting with the accused persons. Thereby, they formed a terrorist gang. Terrorist gang, viewers. Terrorist gang. This was not about settling some person. Now, listen to me, Hyderi. I have to lower your...
It's not gangestry, please. Terrorism is not gangestry. This is legally, logically incorrect. So let me correct NIA on this.
Mr. Hyderi, I'm going to lower your fader. Please allow me to read out. You asked me, Margdarshan Kijiye. I am reading out today what the NIA has said. Now, if you don't have the patience to hear this, you can leave the debate, but don't interfere. I'm only setting out what the people have on the NIA, the investigators have said. Now, please listen to me, okay? Since you asked for the information, now be kind enough to hear the information. I'll go again. 17.48. Investigation has clearly emerged that the accused persons A1 to A11 hatched a criminal conspiracy to kill Umesh Kolhe, who had no property dispute, no history of fighting with the accused person, by forming a terrorist gang, being highly religiously radicalized. To avenge Umesh Kolhe, who posted WhatsApp post in support of Nupur Sharma. The terrorist gang was highly influenced by the ideology of brutality, Gustakhe Nabi ki ek hi saja, sartan se juda, thereby brutally committed murder of innocent person Umesh Kolhe in public area. The act committed by the accused is not a simpliciter murder, these are the words, simpliciter, but a terror act of well-planned criminal conspiracy hatched by religiously radicalized Muslim youth, in brackets, Tablighi Jamaat, to strike a terror into the minds of people and section of the people in Amravati and other states in India. That is why this is diabolic. That is why it is being discussed on national TV, viewers. We are not discussing a small killing over some loan or some property dispute. As bad as that may be, this, viewers, is of a different standard. And that's why it's forming this debate. That's why it's front page news of the newspapers. Why is it on the front page of newspapers? Ask yourself. It disturbed public tranquility, routine social and economic life, safety and security of the common people, and also threatened the unity, security, and sovereignty of India, as well as promoted enmities, hatred, and ill will among the communities, which is prejudice to the maintenance of harmony between different religious groups. Majid Hyderi, this is what it was: an attack on the sovereignty of our country. And you don't want it to be discussed and don't want it to be described as an act of terror? Sorry, sir, but today you are behaving not like a friend of the country. Yes, Mr. Hyderi, respond.
One victim of crime does not represent India's sovereignty. For that matter, our biggest stake of sovereignty is from China, where we have infiltration built all the time.
There you go.
But we are not questioning government.
So when a Gaurakshak takes the life of one innocent Muslim, then, viewers, it is a massive assault on minority rights with an intention of dividing this country and thereby undermining the sovereignty of our country. But when the reverse happens, viewers, then we shouldn't discuss it. Then we should talk about some other murder, maybe in some Jhumri Talaya. Now, Ishkan Bhandari, how do you respond to this attempt?
More people than terrorism. But does that mean we should not discuss terrorism? They are two different contexts. Terrorism in ideology and intention is a serious issue.
Very good.
Rahul, I thought I will be ceased to be amazed by the ridiculous or juvenile arguments of Mr. Hyderi, who calls it an intentional homicide. By that logic, 2611 is an intentional homicide. What Yaqub Menon did is an intentional homicide. All murders are, of course, intentional homicides, but some are terror acts. When there is no personal dispute or enmity between people and they are trying to send a political message, a message which will lead to law and order situation in India, when the aim is to terrorize other people, that is called terrorism. Otherwise, all deaths are intentional homicide, all murder cases are intentional homicide. So let us please be very clear that this justification, this justification, let me finish, this justification, Mr. Hyderi, I didn't interrupt you no matter how ridiculous you were. I didn't interrupt you no matter how ridiculous you were, because I wanted the nation to hear your ridiculous arguments. Yaqub Menon was intentional homicide. Afzal Guru, what he did was intentional homicide, or were they acts of terror? Please answer that first. I'll wait. Afzal Guru, Yaqub Menon,
sir, you are messing up things for the sake of it. The same NIA gives clean sheet to those accused in separate terror. Should I remind you of what Hemant Karkare said?
Menon, what they did, was it intentional homicide or act of terror? Was the attack on parliament an attack on a building, or was it an act of terror?
Honorable Supreme Court has declared it as an act of terror, but here is NIA, which is being seen as a case parrot of BJP, writing a script all the times in 2014. We don't find this to be credible.
Okay, now hang on. Let me step in here. Let's lower everyone's faders. Viewers, this is the lowest of the low point. There are several Hindus that have been booked under UAPA. I can remind Majid Hyderi and he will not know what to say. We just did a debate yesterday on Colonel Purohit. And they called it Hindu terror, viewers. If I were to use the word Islamist terror here, they will cut my head off. The same people today who are pointing out that there is some unevenness or there is no even-handed approach by the NIA. Viewers, this is the problem in this country. And there are enough out there who will support the Majid Haideris, the Kamru Zamans, the Congress, the ecosystem, the leftists, all so-called self-professed secularists and free speech activists who come out and say that they stand up for free speech, that it should not be punished by vigilantes. But today, viewers, there is a telling silence amongst their ranks. And you have to ask yourself, why? Is it because of appeasement, vote bank politics, narrow political self-interest? There is no other way of looking at it, viewers. No other way. There's no other conclusion that one can draw. I need to move on.